You're probably saying these 14 words way too often. So let's replace and learn new words to avoid repeating yourself too often in your next English conversation. The first word you need to add to your vocabulary is lack. The word lack means the state of being without or not having enough of something. This can be anything from the internet to food. For example, there's a lack of milk at the store.
So, you can see how a lack of white blood cells can be dangerous to the human body, right?
It shows a lack of trust.
The word lack can be also used as a verb, and you can easily remember its meaning as a verb by replacing the phrase does not have with to lack. For example, she does not have the will to continue her studies turns into she lacked the will to continue her studies.
She lacks faith, therefore patience.
It's slower in the Black Hawk, lacks the offense and the stability, but it can hide.
Do you use good a lot and don't know or remember anything else you can replace it with? Well, this next word is one that you need to learn. The word satisfactory means to fulfill expectations or needs of someone or something. It's acceptable to remember it. When you want to use satisfactory, use it to describe a situation where whatever you're talking about isn't amazing but isn't awful either. It's just good or okay. For example, my English teacher gave a good explanation turns into my English teacher gave a satisfactory explanation.
But in general, I found the work to be merely satisfactory.
Does that sound satisfactory to everyone?
The next word I have for you today is outstanding. When there are times you really want to say and express that something isn't just good, but more than that, do you often say very good? Well, the next word is for you, and that is outstanding. Outstanding means that something isn't just good or even great, but it's amazing or very good. You should use this adjective when you want to describe something in a positive way and in its strongest form, and this word is perfect for that. To remember this word, you can think of it as the strongest form of good. For example, the film was very good, but let's turn this up a notch and describe it as the film was outstanding.
Oh, you two girls were outstanding.
He finished his outstanding audits.
Moving on to the next word, and that is replacing the word bad when you mean and want to describe someone or something is not as you've hoped or very unpleasant, and that is nasty. The most common usage of the word nasty is to describe something that has a very disgusting smell. Something is unpleasant to look at, or when someone around you does something that makes you feel like icky inside. For example, my friend has a bad habit of biting their nails turns into my friend has a nasty habit of biting their nails.
A wretched piece. Nasty. Disagreeable.
That's a real nasty habit you got there.
Can also be used as a more intense version of very bad to describe something that is really, really difficult and horrible to go through. For example, my teacher had a very bad cold turns into my teacher had a nasty cold.
I mean, humanity is just nasty, and there's no silver lining.
This morning I woke up thinking, what are the chances he didn't pick up one of those nasty bugs or something?
And moving on to the next word, and that is dejected, which you can use instead of the word sad. When you describe a person as dejected, it means that they're very sad or depressed even. You can use this word in a situation where you don't want to say sad because that isn't strong enough, especially in a situation where you would use very sad. The word dejected is one of the strongest forms of sadness you can express in English. For example, after our dog died, my sister was very sad. Turns into, after our dog died, my sister was dejected.
Last night, completely dejected. This morning, near psychotic with glee.
There sits a dejected woman all alone, wounded. Oh.
Now, before I move on to the next word, if you want to improve your English further, and faster, then make sure to get my free guide that will give you the same tips, tricks, and advice that I give my students and that I'm giving to you for free. Link in the description and first pinned comment. Inside this guide, you'll be given the tools that you need and aren't taught at school in order to really advance your English level. So, if that's something you're interested in, then make sure to click the link in the description and first pinned comment to get that guide. Now, let's move on to the next word. Moving on to the next word, and that is miserable, which is a perfect replacement for the word unhappy. The word miserable is used in situations or when an environment causes someone not just to be not happy, but very unhappy. To remember this word, you can easily replace the word unhappy with the word miserable. But be careful when you use this word in your sentence, because this is one of the strongest adjectives you can use to describe the feeling of being very sad and unhappy. So try to use it only when you want to say someone or a situation causes someone to feel very unhappy. For example, my brother was unhappy in the rain turns into my brother was miserable in the rain.
He's miserable. Like you.
Who let this miserable creature in?
Moving on to the next word, and that is adding the word alright into your vocabulary to replace the phrase not bad. Unlike the previous word, alright doesn't express a strong emotion. Instead, it means that something is not bad, but is not good either. It's just acceptable. You can use it to describe anything from an experience to a drink. For example, the film was not bad turns into the film was alright.
It was alright. Some physics classes.
How's your test?
Yeah, it was alright.
Moving on to the next word, and it's actually a phrase. And we're switching out bad luck for the phrasal verb to be down on one's luck. This phrasal verb means that someone or something is experiencing a period of really bad luck and is a perfect replacement for bad luck so you can sound more natural to native speakers. For example, my friend had bad luck losing his job again turns into my friend was down on his luck after losing his job again.
A little down on your luck, are you?
You don't want to hear.
Boy, the two of you kind of look a little down on your luck.
Moving on to the next word, and we're replacing not often with the adverb rarely. With this word, it's simple to understand, as rarely simply means not often. Therefore, you can completely replace using the phrase not often for rarely without worrying that it will sound unnatural or strange to native speakers. For example, we don't go to the park often turns into we rarely go to the park.
No, I set up a company and could take credit cards, but my clients rarely want to use them.
In fact, they rarely agreed on anything.
Moving on to the next one, and this time we're replacing the word great for excellent. The word excellent means that something isn't just good, but very, very, very good. You can really think of this word expressing a positive emotion even stronger than great. But remember here, this word expresses a very strong emotion. So be careful to use it when the context is appropriate and when you want to express that something isn't just good or great, that it's excellent. For example, my school results were great turns into my school results were excellent.
You bother because you know the poem is excellent.
Compared to what I grew up with, you're an excellent mother.
The word excellent also has a secondary usage in English, and we native speakers commonly use it to indicate our approval or pleasure of doing something. The way it's formed is first the sentence plus excellent, or excellent and then the sentence. For example, excellent, I'll see you there. What a lovely idea, really excellent.
Excellent work, counselor.
Okay, excellent. I will be right back with your order, love.
The next word is delightful, and this is a great replacement for the word nice. You can use delightful to describe both a person, a place, or an object as being very pleasant or attractive in a sweet way. When you use it to describe a person, it expresses the fact that you think the person is polite, friendly, and likable. For example, what a nice looking cake turns into what a delightful cake.
They were on another rather delightful planet in a way.
That's a delightful place. place.
And when describing a person, he was nice to be around turns into he was delightful to be around.
Yeah, she's delightful, isn't she?
I suppose she must have looked rather delightful. For Mrs. Darling cried, "Oh, why can't you remain like this forever?"
Moving on to the next one, and that is replacing the word great for the word amazing. This word means that something causes you a great surprise in a positive way. Perhaps you had a party at your house and more people than you thought turned up. So you can say, an amazing number of people came to my party. However, in colloquial English, it's commonly used to say that something isn't just good or very good. It's even greater than that. Continuing with the example of the party, maybe one of your friends really enjoyed it and they can say, instead of "what a great party," turns into "what an amazing party."
It's going to be an amazing party.
This is amazing. I love it.
Moving on to the next one, and that is replacing the word sweet with endearing. This word comes from the verb to endear, which means to cause to be loved or liked. For example, my mother's kindness endeared her to her children.
Your Honor, she endeared herself to him through hard work and good humor.
Name for something that's always rather endeared me to him.
Similar to the verb, the adjective endearing means to cause feelings of love or affection from a person or an animal. You can remember this by thinking of the word endearing as something so sweet that it causes you to smile and think of someone or something in a warm way. For example, instead of saying the letter was so sweet, we can say instead the letter was endearing.
Why don't you just skip ahead from where I'm annoying and inappropriate to where I'm charming and endearing?
No.
His weaknesses are endearing.
Moving on to the next one, and that is using the word exceptional instead of special. The word exceptional has a slightly different meaning than special, so remember to keep in mind what I'm about to say. First meaning of exceptional is when something is unusual or not typical in a bad way. This can be anything from a sickness to a crime. For example, his crime was unusually cruel turns into his crime was exceptionally cruel.
According to my Uncle Seth, an accident like this is exceptionally rare.
My husband could be exceptionally cruel.
The second meaning of the word exceptional is used when something is unusually good or special, and unlike in the first meaning, in a good or great way. This can be used to describe anything from food to a person that's very nice. Now let's see an example. My mother was a special person turns into my mother was an exceptional person.
Oh, I don't know what to say.
No, really, you are exceptionally beautiful. You're a very beautiful girl.
And Sergeant Popwell was an exceptional officer, truly exceptional.
Are you excited to try any of these words in a future conversation? Try and use one right now by answering this question in the comments. How was your day today? Were you down on your luck? Or maybe it was an exceptional day. I really want you to practice using these words because when you write them, when you think about which one you want to use, you're repeating them in your mind, and that should help you remember and learn them so that you can use them yourself in a future conversation in English. Also, please don't forget to get my free English guide, link in the description, and first pinned comment that will give you tips, tricks, and advice for improving your English faster and more effectively. These are the same tips I give my students, and now I'm giving to you for free. So make sure you check out the link in the description and first pinned comment to get that guide. Now, at this point in the video, I've taught you a lot of words, but if you're wondering how to effectively remember these words, then make sure you watch this video here, where you'll get a guide on how to effectively learn new words in English. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then make sure you smash that like button and subscribe for more free lessons just like this. And hopefully I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye!